Now we're going to wet sand these pieces. I'm going to show you how to do it and give you a few tricks. First of all, sandpaper comes anywhere from 40 grit all the way up to 2600 or 3000 grit, which is used for fine polishing of your clear coat. I'm going to use 800 for this. Mainly what I want to do is I want to rough up the surface with a few of these scratches so the paint will stick to it. If the surface is too smooth, the paint won't stick. So we start with some hot water. This is a trick. Okay, these are 800 grit. I wouldn't go any lower than 600 grit. 800 grit. You want to stick your paper in here. It can be used, new, it doesn't matter. If you let this sit in hot water for 15 minutes, it will make the paper more cloth-like, and it tends to scratch less. Now, with the hot water, what I like to do is I like to put a little lubricant in there, and it cleans at the same time. You can use any dish soap. You just use a little bit. Too much, and the surface becomes too slick. So then, these are two of the other things I use. This is called a 3M palm pad. This is from Napa. It's called a soft block. These papers are custom designed. Let me show you. Once you get a 11 by 8 piece of paper, sandpaper, they're custom designed to do this. Okay? That's the way they work. When that side wears out, you switch to the other side. That's well, it's kind of a soft hard block. This one is a sponge block right here. You can use one of each. I can't get this sandpaper off or it's going to wreck it. After I get that to where I want it, you can start any time. What you want to do, the first rule of painting, if you're a painter out there and you know this, you know, you don't need to comment because I know everything. Never ever go in circles. Ever. Never go this way and then this way, or crosshatch. Not when you're doing your final sanding for paint preparation. Like this. You want to go with the grain in one direction. This way. Okay? This way. This way, this way, this way, this way, this way. The next trick you want to learn is that if you will notice on this piece, which is, this one's sticking together pretty good, but mainly where your paint starts to come off is on the edges. Is because water, debris, whatever gets on the back, gets underneath here, and starts to peel the paint up. So when we go to do our plastics, you want to go, I don't know, ½ inch on the back. Okay, just sand them a little bit, rough them up to where the paint will stick to them. When we sand, this is what sanding does. Okay? What that does is that puts thousands of little tiny scratches in here. What it allows for is the liquid paint to go into those little tiny scratches, dry, and grab hold and stick. If this was too smooth, the paint would not stick to it. I'll give you an example. Have you ever seen paint that will stick to a window? It won't. Because, well, don't be looking at me, I'm kind of old. Anyway, it doesn't have any scratch marks to hold the paint. That's what we're doing. Another thing when we're doing our sanding is that we want to smooth out all the bad marks. Like right here, I spilled something right there. I'm going to sand that out. This little piece is going to come out. This is a little sticker. It's on there. It's going to come out. You can use, what do they call it? Stuff, goof off, or it's it's got tooling in it. What tooling does, all it does is it breaks down the stickum in the decals, and you can peel them right off. Or you can use a heat gun if you want. But this panel right here is pretty good, but you can see where I've used the 800 grit and I've got it smooth. And you can also, if you look very closely, you can see little tiny nodules which I want to take out. Another trick about painting, a lot of people don't understand this. They think that painting hides mistakes. It doesn't. Painting shows mistakes. Therefore, your panel has got to be really smooth to have a really smooth finish. If I go and take this piece right here, and you can see where the paint is lifted up off the stock part, it will just form into that, and you will see that. What I will do is take my sandpaper and I will feather the rough spots around the edges and let the paint flow into it. I also note that spot isn't sticking, therefore it's bad surface preparation, or it could be just years of not working correctly. This one is the same way, along with, where did that one piece go? Along with this piece here, we can see on the edges here, you see it's starting to come off. And of course, there's where the wife hit my bike. She won't admit it. There's where it was hit again. The paint doesn't crack like that in a million pieces and come off. Your wife's got to hit it with car and then hide it from you. But I'll have to smooth all this down too. You want to sit out in the sun, have yourself a beer if the wife isn't around, or if you don't have a wife. Lucky dogs. Never get married either. Don't. Just don't. If you ever go out with a girl, look, don't give her your real name. Move in with her. Put everything in her name. Everything. That way when things don't work out, you can tell her, honey, look, I'm going out for a pack of cigarettes, and disappear. And you're free and clear. But this isn't about marriage videos, so I'm going to get myself a cup of coffee and start sanding.